Nah, let's talk the other weak team in the division. Let's talk the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns, 35 games this year at best. Devin Booker still not an all-star. Trade Devin Booker next offseason, and that's really all I got to say. Give DeAndre Ayton the ball. I think Ricky Rubio will, but give DeAndre Ayton the ball. 35 wins, that's about where it begins and where it ends.
I think the Suns win 35 games, but I think that 35 games is very, very enjoyable to watch. I'm just happy the Suns finally have some direction about where they're going with their franchise.
I swear to God, bro. What?
I think they finally have a direction. I think picking up Ricky Rubio, they've been struggling to find a point guard for a very, very long time. They now have one. Tyler Johnson's contract ends this season, so that's $19 million that they will have on their books for next year, as in will free up on more of their books for next year. You give Ayton another season, and think about Ayton was if he got the ball more, I think he very well could have had a 20-10 season. So I think that's why him having Rubio there is great. I think Devin Booker will continue to improve. I like the guy they picked up, Cam Jackson. I think it's his name, Cam Jackson, from North Carolina. To me, he seems like, I'm not calling him Klay Thompson, but he gives me Klay Thompson type vibes. He's a very, very good shooter. He has good
Klay
size.
Thompson.
What? I didn't say Klay Thompson couldn't play basketball.
You don't like him though.
Anyway, he gives me Klay Thompson type vibes. I think that he has good size. He has a good form. He can shoot the ball. Also, they picked up Saric, who is still very, very, I think Saric is like 24 years old himself, who I like. They also have Aaron Baines. So I like what the Suns did this offseason, and I think that they will be a much, much improved team. Again, I don't think it's playoffs. I think there's still some years. Oh, and also they have Monty Williams as a coach, a very, very well-respected guy around the league, and I think that he can.
You know, shout out to our, Monty Williams. Still condolences to your family.
Yeah.
In regards to your wife, this tragic accident. Obviously, go ahead.
And I think that he can come in and just finally instill some culture there, man. Like they've been lacking culture pretty much since Steve Nash left. Like since Steve Nash left, the Suns have been pretty much in limbo. That's literally a whole decade, basically. Mm-hmm. So the Suns have been in limbo for a whole decade. I'm just happy that when I look at the Suns roster, I'm finally like, okay, I think I know what y'all trying to do. Mm-hmm. I think I have an idea about what y'all trying to do. So again, I don't think that. And also they retained Kelly Oubre, which I like. I think Kelly Oubre played well for them at the end of last season. I actually thought they got better at the end of last season, but Devin Booker still missed some time. But I thought that they got better with the acquisition of Kelly Oubre. Again, Mikal Bridges is there. Off of one more year, they picked up Frank Kaminsky. So again, look, I'm just finally happy that when I look at this team, I think they have a direction. And again, I'm with you, 30 to 35 wins, but I think it will be a very enjoyable 30 to 35 wins to at least watch. And if you're in Phoenix, you should be excited that you, again, finally just have a direction, bro.
Look, I'm going to be honest. As I said before, 35 wins. But I think that the only way for the Phoenix Suns this season can be salvageable is for you to actually see what DeAndre Ayton is made of. And I don't know if their organization is at the point at which they are built and equipped to show me what he's made of. I think that a lot of it with them is trying to force it to Devin Booker because he's kind of the Kobe of their franchise. But I think what they need to realize is that they have a David Robinson in their franchise. And David Robinson developed a lot quicker, a lot stronger, a lot bigger, a lot faster, a lot more moves, a lot better on defense, faster.
David Robinson also came in at like 24.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. DeAndre Ayton, is a gazelle out there.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's David Robinson.
He don't have to be David Robinson. He really don't.
I think David Robinson is.
He really don't. He can be a David Robinson build with a fucking He can be a David Robinson build with a Patrick Ewing inside play and beyond 12 feet play more like a Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and I'll be perfectly fine.
No, I think that.
I'll be perfectly fine with it.
I think Ayton is a 20-10 guy for a decade in the league. I think he has Hall of Fame potential, but I don't know if Ayton to me is like game changing, like completely like groundbreaking and game changing.
If you have Hall of Fame potential, you game changing to me. What?
I don't know if everybody in the Hall of Fame was groundbreaking and game changing.
Tracy McGrady, Scottie Pippen.
Pippen's cold.
Game changing. Scottie Pippen.
We never saw Pippen on his own for more than one season.
T-Mac.
I mean, if I went through the Hall of Fame,
T-Mac. Dominique Wilkins.
Paul Westphal. who in the Hall of Fame as a
Dominique
player.
Wilkins?
Dominique wasn't hard, but he ran. I think Dominique was hard, but he ran into some great teams. Like everybody in like the Hall of Fame is not like Robert Parrish. Is Robert Parrish groundbreaking and game changing?
I mean, it depends on who you ask. If you're from Boston, yeah.
I don't think no. Bird was. Parrish was nice. He was dope. He was hard.
So he's not a Hall of Famer.
That's not what I'm saying. You know how to be a generational talent and not be in the Hall of Fame.
Then you can still be groundbreaking. That's what I'm saying, fam.
I don't know if Aiden is that, but I do think Aiden is a really, really good player. And again, I think that Aiden will average 20 and 10 for a decade. But I don't know if he's that
all right.
Hakeem, that you could argue David Robinson wasn't groundbreaking. Some people would argue with you with that.
That's a lie.
Some people would argue with you. Some people would argue with you.
It's a lie.
Some people would say Hakeem was, but he wasn't.
One of the best interior defenders to ever play basketball, a force, a guy who beat Shaq out for the scoring title in the league, a great defender, great shot blocker, and an all-around team player.
Okay.
You can't get no more better than David Robinson in terms of being one of the guys. He might not have been the guy, but he's one of the guys.
Yeah, one of them,
He's top 10, top 12.
Whatever?
Yes. Top 15.
That's fair.
I'm not putting him outside of my top 15. Period. I'm not.
That's fair.
I'm not.
That's fair.
Period.
That's fair.
So he's one of the guys.
But listen,
he's not Tim Duncan, but he's still one of the guys.
Listen, I don't know if Aiden is that good, but I do think Aiden is a 20 and 10 guy for a decade. But again, I think that having Monty Williams there, and I think he signed on for a minute. I think he signed on for like 3-4 years too as well. He's not gonna be like the last coach who you had who was from Europe, came over, coach 1 year, now he's gone. He's not that. So you got a guy who's well respected with a young team that you finally got. You got Rubio, he's a veteran. You got even Tyler Johnson, he's somebody been in the league 5 years. You got
Tyler Johnson is a guy that's gonna be my sleeper for like really being a great player this year. I think he could wind up low key averaging like 18 off this. If depending on where he is.
No,
I'm dead ass. 18.
Watch. No. 12, sure. 18.
Is he coming off the bench or is he gonna start?
Bench.
I think he could. Okay, not 18 off the bench, but he gotta give you 14 off the bench.
Debatable. That's
I think
more.
Give you 14 off the bench.
Like it. 14 is a little bit more debatable.
I didn't know where he would be in. I forgot about Devin Booker. My bad.
No. But yeah, I think that you finally have a direction in Phoenix, and you just had to be excited about that. More than anything else, again, I think you're just happy that when you go to a Suns game, it's like, okay, I know what you're trying to do. I felt like for a decade you had no idea what they were even like. They had what? Dragic, Bledsoe, and IT. What are you trying to do?
Nothing.
Like, what actually are you trying to do?
Lose. Fuck everything else.
Then when you pick
lose.
Then when you pick Dragan Bender and Marquise Chris 4 spots away from each other, what are you trying to do?
Lose. I just told you.
So it's like, I'm just happy again that when you look at Phoenix, you look at their roster build, and hopefully when you see them on the court this year, it's like, you know what? I know what y'all trying to do. So again, I wish you like 35 wins, but I think it will be for somebody who is a West Coast guy. Stay up on the West Coast.
I'm not watching.
I live on the West Coast. If I see a Suns game on, I'll cut it on, and I'll probably enjoy the product that's on the court this year.
I'm not watching this shit. But